I'm all about taking or experience being your biggest teacher and not just taking in things and absorbing things that you hear and just believing things because they're handed down to you. But my last episode, question 1, we're still on, so be 1A, because there was something I didn't touch on, and that was actually what I've learned lately. I mean, I already know that experience is your biggest teacher, and I think that that might be, since we are so tantalized with the material world and wanting to have all these distractions, we think those are it. Those are experience. But deep down in our gut, I don't think it's a feeling of just dying that gives us this anxiety or insecurity or fear. The materialistic view from where we've headed, where we're so far away from source. And of course, when I say source, I mean God, the unseen, that the space between words, between thoughts, between everything. It's the everything. It's the all. There's not really a word that's proper to encompass that. But I like the word God. It's just not a thing. It's space. It's endless space. It's dimensionless space. It's all space. And I've said that before. But anyway, as far as the fears and anxieties that we have from the materialistic view, I think that comes from knowing that it's finite, knowing that it's going to end, knowing that even when you go to a party and you're having a great time, you know that's going to be over when it's over. Knowing that loving someone or that's going to flow in and out, it's going to come and go. Unless your love is actually coming from, it depends on behalf of where you're coming from. Are you coming from that shallow or finite? I say shallow, that's kind of like a judgment. I don't mean it that way. It comes from, and I guess I have to use that same word Rupert uses, is finite, that mind-body place where everything comes to an end. Things come and go. But the one thing that doesn't come and go, and this is where the experiential part comes in, is that awareness. Being able to close your eyes. And if you've ever meditated, you know that you can go there in an instant when you close your eyes. And people often go into meditation and don't ever want to come out, and they don't come back out into the world. But you can close your eyes and go into that infinite, pure, spacious, expansive, infinite space, purity, that I know it you just want to call that love, because there's nothing contaminating it. There's nothing There's no impurity. There's no nothing. There's no thing. There's no thing. But it's just being. It's just being. I don't want to be somebody. I want to just be. Or I keep saying I want, and that right there is from my constricted self. Just those words are constricting. But I want to be knowing. Awareness is knowing. God is knowing. Everything I'm just putting myself into these words, which Rupert has used. I hate to, when I use this word, I don't want to hurt anything that he said and take it out of context. I'm just saying, I've heard these words before, and I want to pull them inside my deepest part and feel these words to the deepest part that I can. So, I am being. I am being. And knowing I'm being. It sounds like a restrictive statement, and yes, it is ever so all and everything. Being, knowing, when I am open and expansive, and I'm not restricting, constricting, when I'm open and expansive, that is when there's clarity. That is when everything comes into being. We've covered the source, the expansiveness, the awareness, the being inside of us has been, as Rupert says, another good word that he uses. He has such a good way of articulating. We've overlooked that part of us. How we've overlooked that part of us. We live out of our head. And our head and heart conflict. And the senses are all part of that finite self, the place that's localized, the place that's the body-mind. It's restricted. But if we open up ourselves, we don't have to just stay inside of ourselves in meditation. We don't have to just stay inside and close our eyes so that we don't see the outside world. The outside world and senses are beautiful to be in, to be here, to be, just to be. And it's like we're God's dream, and we're here to be. And so the next question I hear is, well, we can't just sit back and do nothing. We can't just sit back and sing, oh, every day's the perfect day. I love to be in the neighborhood. I love to have this perfect day, the perfect life, the perfect way. So that's not at all what this is about. It's not at all what this is about. That is more like an act. That's I don't know. You don't want to hide anything. But the way I see it, to explain that part of it, if I were to take Gandhi's love and beauty from what he's done and how he's been, and just the beauty of his life, and him leading with love, and all of those people being killed, or people see that as not working. However, that's the histories of things, are the things that bring us closer to seeing who we are and what we're doing, and the restrictions of the mind body, and trying to lead a group of people you can't do that. The only way that we're going to be able to help to expand, to share, to love Earth and others, knowing that we're all made from that same source. We're all brothers and sisters. But the only way that it would work is being connected from the inside out to source. We've lost source. We've lost God, or that knowing. We are lost. And each individual self, every individual self, that's the only way that each individual self has to, inside of their own self, uncover what we've overlooked, that part of us that we've overlooked for so long. Imagine if you knew and Rupert's mentioned this before, I know, in a different way, but imagine if you knew everything was made from the same stuff. Imagine if you knew that the person next to you was made from the exact same thing you are. They're made from the same stuff. Circumstances and conditioning have made us what we are, but when we come to the knowing of who we really are, if we uncover what we've so overlooked for so long, we wouldn't have hate in our hearts if we didn't live from that finite self. If we were open and knowing, I know we would have different thoughts and different. It wouldn't be la 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 la. It would be people having different thoughts, different creative thoughts, and sharing those and going along differently, and there'd be no's and there'd be things like that. But you wouldn't want to hurt that person, because that would be like hurting yourself. You'd love the person, but you would allow that person to be fully them, or fully, their full self from the differences of their circumstances. And you would be your full self, and we'd appreciate each other as our full selves, and we'd care about the earth, and we'd care about everything and everybody, and we wouldn't, working from our restricted, constricted selves, we fight, we resist, we push back, we hate, we, it just doesn't work, obviously. When you overlook that part of yourself and saying, well, we can't talk about this, we can't talk about source, we can't talk about, now we're not talking about religion. We are not at all talking about religion, because that's what is one of the things that have separated us so much. We're talking about true source from experience. And that would be that awareness and knowing when you shut your eyes and you be knowingly. All you know is knowingly. If you shut your eyes and be, you know, I am aware of being aware. I'm aware. When you're aware and you shut your eyes, there's no boundaries. It goes on and on. You don't have walls. It goes forever. It's infinite. But there's a part of you, now that's just obvious, that I'm aware of being aware. I'm aware of being aware. I'm aware of being aware. That's the key. I am aware of being aware. I am I. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm aware of being aware. I am I. Oh, I don't know. It's just so beautiful. That's why we're all drawn. We're all drawn to go home. We're all drawn to know. And that's all we do is know. We know what we touch, we know what we see, we know. We're knowingness, we're being. Being is knowing. But you take away all the I ams and all the things and all the stuff, and that's all you are. But it's everything. It feels expansive and beautiful and joyful and loving, because that's all there is. The resistance and the hate and the hurt and the anxieties, all of those come from the restricted, constricted material self. From the I am this and I am that. And this is good and this is bad. And I still say this is good, this is bad. I don't say this is bad so much, but I do say this is this isn't very good. But I'm still working on uncovering and working on that part I've overlooked as we have for all these many years, thousands of years. So that is where I wanted to go and touch on about source. Whatever you call it, I just wanted to try, because words just, I know words can't do it, but I love words, and I like the art of it, and I like the art of articulation. To share. And the world to shine with beauty.